All right, Council, we resume.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Judge, you're there?
Yes, Honorable Lead Counsel.
Mr. Judge, we sent you some transactions relating to JNPC, the Gambia National Petroleum Company accounts.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear, ma'am.
There's a transaction. There are two transactions, actually. The first one is for $2 million, signed for by the ex-president and Mamadou Sabali.
Yes.
According to the evidence before this commission,
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Sabali received part of these funds in cash, which he has said he did receive, amounting about $650,000 and $150,000.
Yes.
And
yes, ma'am.
Mr. Nuhature received the balance also in cash.
Yes, ma'am.
But according to their evidence, is that well, let me just ask you first. What do you know about this $2 million? Mr. Chairman, this is Exhibit BB 63. Exhibit BB 63. Do you know
I have to
anything about
relate
this
to the
$2 million?
document to refresh my memory, ma'am.
Do you know anything about this $2 million?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm saying. I have to relate to the document itself to refresh my memory.
Okay, you need to relate it to a document.
Yes, because I think this particular transaction was sent to me this morning through Olima, State Council.
Okay.
It was sent via Skype, so that's what I'm trying. WhatsApp. That's what I'm trying. What's the date, please, ma'am?
It's 14th August 2013. It was money received in cash by Mamadou Sabali and Nuhature.
The ones I have here is 15th, I think 15th, no, this 16th January 2014 and 8th September 2014.
Now this one is the 2 million. According to these two gentlemen, were money handed over to the ex-president in your presence. Do you know anything about it, this 2 million?
Can you come again, ma'am?
According to Mr. Nuhature and Sabali, this $2 million, which was delivered by Skybank from GNPC
Skybank, yes,
account, was delivered to the President's Odlis in your presence.
Yes, I could remember there was a day the Secretary General called, because my office and the Secretary General's office is right opposite each other. So he sent his orderly for me to go and answer to him. Upon arrival there, he told me that boss means the former president, sent him them to receive some money at Skybank, I could remember. So the orderlies came down. I think the orderly that came to pick that particular money, I was there to witness, was one CPL, we call him LB. LB, yeah, but I forgot the actual name. It was in my present. I think that same LB is with the president currently at Equatorial Guinea.
Sorry, you said what happened in your presence?
I said I was there to witness the handing over, because the orderlies came with the book, the choir book. Mr. Sabali handed them over the money. They signed. I was there. I witnessed it. It was right at his office, the Secretary General's office.
Who was present?
It was the gentleman, the orderly who came to pick the cars. That's LB. I I'm used to his name as LB. Maybe Islam in something, but I'm used to the name as LB. So I was there, I was present, and Mr. Sabali was present, I think with Noah too. Yes.
Who kept the choir books that these orderlies were using? Was it you?
No, most of the time it's the president who kept it. He will give it to them to bring it, and most of the time when they are going, they leave with the choir book.
They give him the choir book?
Yes, I could remember it's a big choir book, green ones.
Okay. There is a specific transaction signed by the ex-president and Dr. Khalidou Bayo.
Yes, ma'am.
15 December 2014. Did you sign as having received this amount from JNPC account?
15 to what?
December 2014.
15th December 2014.
GNPC, Gambia National Petroleum.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. 16th, no, I have 15 December 2014, the amount is 200,000 United States dollars.
You received it?
Yes, I received this money.
16 January 2014, from Access Bank, GNPC account.
I'm not sure of this one. My memory could not serve me on this one. I'm not sure about that one.
Instruction says the amount should be remitted to Mr. Sanajaji, Chief of Protocol at the Office of the President.
Yes, then I must have received it, but I honestly didn't have a clue of this, but I must have received it if my name is the one there.
You can't remember going over to Access Bank to receive $100,000? When Dr. Khalidou Bayo was Secretary General?
Khalidou Bayo was Secretary General. I'm trying. It's possible, ma'am, because most of the banks we deal with guarantee trust bank and trust bank, so maybe something that happened once. So I know the transaction took place. My name is there, but I could not recall the basis of how it happens.
Would you check your records? If you can remember, kindly let us know.
Yes.
We don't have the supporting documents, but we do have the request for the withdrawal of the sum, and it was withdrawn.
Absolutely.
We'll move on to the Ministry of Petroleum Special Services account.
Yes, ma'am.
You know Mrs. Sirawali Ndao Njai?
Yes, ma'am.
What can you tell us about Mrs. Sirawali Ndao Njai with regard to financial transactions?
Mrs. Sirawali Ndao, I think, was the former Minister of Petroleum. I could remember in several occasions the President will ask me to liaise with Sirawali Ndao. She is to deliver something for him. That was the first time he was telling me. So upon Sira's arrival, it happens to be, Sira herself told me it was money. It was requested by the former president. I could still remember it was in a, I think, big gift bag, which was given to me, and it was I handed it over to the former president.
Significant sums of money were withdrawn from the Ministry of Petroleum Special Services account.
Yes, ma'am.
At Skybank.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, at GT Bank.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to draw your attention to some transactions.
Yes, ma'am.
Where, according to Sarah Walindau, she was away from the country, and that you
yes,
had received the funds.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recollect those transactions?
Yes, I remember there was a time Sarah Walindau was out of town. I think she was in China.
Yes.
Yes, I could remember there was a time Sarah Walindau was in China. She was out of town. So the president asked me to call Sarah that she needs some money from the account. Then I tried reaching Sarah. Luckily, Sarah was roaming then. She answered. She told me that I'm currently in China. Then from China, I will be going to Dubai. I'm not in the country, but what I'm going to do, I will try the managing director of Guarantee Trust Bank, that is Mr. Bolaji. Then I will make the necessary transaction for you to go and pick the cars, have it delivered to His Excellency. Then when I come, we will complete the I will complete the paper transaction with His Excellency. I remember that.
Do you recollect the amount?
The amount, I didn't recall the exact amount, but I know it took place. I'm the very person who, when that particular payment, I received it at Guarantee Trust Bank at Kairaba Avenue.
So what happened when she came back with regard to the transaction itself?
You mean for the paper transaction?
Yes.
Yeah, because when Sarah came back, I think on several occasions, she requested through me to meet the president. So there was a time I told the president, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum is in town, she is back, she is requesting to see you in audience. She said I should ask, the first response she gave me that she should see the Secretary General. So when I called Sarah to inform her that His Excellency asked me to inform you to see the Secretary General, she said, yes, I can see the Secretary General to brief him about my trip, but the reason why I wanted to see him for us to complete the paper transaction of the funds you receive, the funds I told you to go and receive while I was away through Bolaji. So I went back to His Excellency. I informed him. So he said, okay, I will tell him later. I will see him. So I called Sarah and informed me. So it went to an extent, at times you will tell him that Sarah wants to come so that these transactions will be, you will sign, you guys will complete this paper transaction, but he will be very mad at me. So to an extent, I even told Sarah, I tried my best. So the only alternative we are going to do, anytime you people are called in for a program here at the Cabinet House, the Cabinet Room, when you are coming, come with the paper transaction. If you see him face to face, capitalize to him, because I tried my best at times, he would say no. So I could remember those pull and push also happened between me and him.
So basically, he would not complete the transaction.
Yeah, because most of the time, ma'am, with clear honesty, most of the time he won't want to complete the transaction by signing the authority. Even the reason why I got him sign most of this authority, I have to make a follow-up. Most of the time when we pick these cars, the bank will be on my head because they will need something to prove. At times you will be lucky. At times you will come, he will be very mad at you, send you out of his office. But most of the time, I could also wait and read from his face. If he is in a good mood, I will at times succeed and have him sign the authority and give it back to whosoever. But most of the time, it's very difficult.
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
This leaves us a little bit perplexed. This is according to your evidence. The ex-president would ask people to withdraw money and give it to him. What you're saying is that he then would not want to regularize these transactions?
Not the one with Central Bank. I'm particularly referring to the one with Sira this time, Sirawal.
Yes.
That's what I'm referring to.
He was reluctant to sign off the forms and hand them over to Sirawal.
Yeah, because Sira tried on several occasions.
Why?
Through me.
Why was he reluctant to sign off on this transaction?
His reason best known to him, but I think before, obviously along the line, I left the office, so I don't know, maybe it was signed, but I know when I was there, I tried. But he will tell me, okay, tell him to come later or today, because most of the time when Sira is coming, she comes with the documents by herself. The documents were not handed over to me. She requests the audience through me to inform His Excellency so that he will come with the documents for them to regularize it.
Okay, because we are talking about significance of money, $500,000, $348,000, $152,000. These are all transactions, and a second $500,000 as well. These are all transactions which, according to Sira Walindau, are transactions you are aware of and which the President will not sign for, including another transaction of €462,500.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, okay. Tell us about these monies which you arranged while Sira Wali was absent. What were the monies meant for?
Absolutely, this money I cannot say exactly is meant for what, because most of the time, the only time he will request money when the First Lady is about to travel, and we need to prepare our flights on ground to uplift the First Lady and the delegation. Or if our flights are not in good condition to fly, GIA will advise because they are due for maintenance. So most of the time you will charter aircrafts
you have
for the delegates.
You traveled with the President. You traveled
yes,
with
ma'am.
the President as Chief of Protocol.
Yes, I did.
Can you tell us what countries you went to with the President?
We've been to numerous countries. I've been with him to Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Mauritania, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, Morocco, Egypt, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, France, and United States of America.
Let's just talk about some of those countries. When you traveled to Morocco with the President, where did you stay?
Most of the time we stayed in a hotel.
Was there any exception to this?
Yes, ma'am, come again?
Was there any time when you did not stay in a hotel?
No. All the trip I made to Morocco, we stayed in a hotel.
See, when you say most of the time, it means there are exceptions. So you're saying all the time you traveled with him to Morocco, you stayed in a hotel?
There is no exception. All the trips to Morocco, we stayed in a hotel.
Are you aware of a project the President or the First Lady had in Morocco?
Not to my knowledge, ma'am. Because most of those projects will not be handled by us. It will be handled by her personal assistant. They will keep us away from her. I wouldn't know.
Did the President have a personal assistant?
The President did not have a personal assistant, you can say this is unless the office staffs at the office of the Presidency use, but most of these transactions, if it is project or anything, you wouldn't know. It will be handled by the First Lady.
Will be handled by?
The First Lady or the personal assistant, because I could remember there was a time we went to Washington, I traveled with him on, I think twice, when her protocol was on maternity leave. When we get to the hotel in France, I could remember the Hotel Plaza Antenne. she asked me to retire, I can be relaxing. So whatever things he needs is done by the personal assistant, Lala Mariam Al-Idris.
This was in France, Paris?
Yeah, this was in France when I went with him with her in France. So.
Where did you stay in France?
We stayed at Hotel Plaza Antane, yes, in Champs-Élysées.
Did you stay anywhere else in France apart from hotels?
No, we stayed only at the hotel.
What did you do in France when you traveled with the president?
When we went on this trip to France to the president, I think it was a medical checkup.
Did he have any other business as far as you know in France?
I didn't know, ma'am.
You traveled with him, you said, to United States?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's well known that he has a Potomac property. Did you stay there?
I didn't stay. When we arrived, I think I've been to that property only once. When we went for the U.S. African Leader Summit, then from there we went to the residence, but we didn't stay. They took us, we stayed in a nearby hotel. It's only the first family that stayed there. So I've only been there once on the instruction. I think he wanted to send me, so I went, but I didn't have even access inside the building. I spoke to them through the intercom at the securities. He gave me the instructions, then I worked on them, but I've never stayed there personally. I stayed in a nearby hotel.
Are you aware of any other property owned by the president?
No.
Outside the Gambia?
No, I didn't.
In Qatar?
In Qatar, I didn't. Most of this stuff, yeah, I don't think so. He may involve. I'm not aware. I didn't.
Dubai?
Dubai, no, ma'am. We've been to Dubai, but we stayed in a hotel. We've not been to any property.
Guinea-Conakry?
I've not been to Guinea-Conakry with him.
Okay. According to your evidence, substantial sums of cash were given to the First Lady. What did he do with this cash? Did she do with this cash?
Who, the First Lady?
Yes.
You wouldn't know, ma'am. He wouldn't tell you is for what purpose. He will just be giving directive for you to send money to him, to her, but you wouldn't know. But even when you are on an official trip with the First Lady, when she is going out for her appointments, most of the time I'm left at the hotel. She will go with her personal assistant, that's Lala Mariam Al-Idris. So you will have limited knowledge about it.
What were the arrangements when the president traveled in respect of money? He carried cash, did he not?
I don't know, because when we are going on this, it's a separate array. If he carries cash, I wouldn't know the amount or he carries cash. But in certain instances, when we go like places like France and United States, you have a lot of Gambians. So upon our arrival, the D-Day, the Gambians will come out to welcome him. So at times, they will request for meetings with him. At the meetings, he will pledge to give them something for the Gambian community. In numerous occasions, he will give us money, me and ambassador. He will call us to his residence, the presidential suite he with. I think there was a time of about 200,000 United States dollars for me and ambassador to go and hand it over to the Gambian community. He does that a lot most of the time when we travel out of the Gambia.
So you're saying he carried cash, but you were not part of the arrangements?
Yeah, I don't know the amount he carried or whether he carried out, but I do know when we travel, he give me cash to liaise with the ambassador of that particular country to give it to the Gambian community.
Do you handle his per diem arrangements?
No, his per diem is handled by him.
Who handles the per diem arrangements?
The per diem arrangement is handled by most of the PS1 and the Secretary General. So when they will do the transaction, accounts will only call us when the cash is available. And everybody will have to pick individually. You have to sign by your name. So his per diem most of the time is given to me with the book. I will take it to him. He will sign. I will give him his per diem. I never hold his per diem. It's always with him.
Did you deal with, were you present at any time when he gave people other than Gambians cash, foreign exchange, dollars, any other currency?
Yes, the one I am aware, I can see, there is this one also he gave in my presence to this Senegalese Rasula. He came to Gambia. I think that he had a wrestling context with Balage, and Omosen, yeah, something like that. Omosen.
Can you repeat the name?
Omosen, something like that. Omosen, he's a wrestler, a Senegalese wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah, because he handed over, but I didn't know the specific amount, but it was in an envelope.
Okay.
So it was handed in my presence to him.
Now, Mr. Jaju, you were at least a chief of protocol for some 4 years?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were close to the president. Could you
yes,
tell
ma'am.
us about other people who were close to him apart from yourself?
Can you come again, ma'am?
Could you tell this commission about people who were close to the president during the time you were chief of protocol?
Can I understand closeness in the sense of what?
Who were associated with him, whether personally or for business purposes or for any other purpose, but they frequented the office of the president or were in constant touch with him, as far as you know?
I wouldn't know, because most of the time people do request for audiences and meetings. So as part of my daily routine, most of the times when he have those meetings and those people are around, it's my responsibility to receive them through myself, or at times assign my protocol officers to receive them. And they will be waiting at our VIP waiting lounge. Then I will go upstairs and inform the president himself, so and so is around for your meeting or the audience. Then he will tell me, okay, bring them in. I will just announce them and get them in and retire from the office. I can only show up when I'm needed.
So what do you mean by you wouldn't know? You met these people. You've just explained that people who came to see him were people who you would escort, so to speak, to him?
Yes, people have been coming and go.
I could remember some people. Yes?
I could remember some people who will be having meeting with him, but I wouldn't know the basics of the meeting because I'm never present. But most of the time, I escort them in. I announced them in and I took them in. Show them where they will sit and then retire.
Yes, tell us about the people you would consider to be closely associated to him.
I would say people that do come for these audiences and meeting most of the time is, I think, Muhammad Bazi. Yes, Muhammad Bazi. And one Ambassador Nicolas Buzainu. At one time, he used to be our ambassador at United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Amadou Samba. And the First Lady's brother at times will come, Abubakar Suma. And Tibu Kamara. I think Tibu is married to First Lady's elder sister, Mariam Suma. Yes, I could remember those people, apart from the ministers.
Council?
Yes.
I'm afraid it's time now to write. I don't know whether you finish with this witness or whether you want to make another arrangement.
We will take another date, yes, subject to him telling us what is possible. Mr. Jajo.
Yes, ma'am.
We would expect you to email today, please, those documents, those emails and documents that you referred to.
I will do that immediately.
These transactions, you promise you will send them to senior counsel's email.
I will do that right away after
Please,
from this
and,
testimony.
If you could tell us by Monday morning or what time would be convenient for us to have a final session.
Yes, by Monday I will be able to have an idea. When I talk to my supervisor, then I will send a message and I will call Olimatu directly to tell him the available date.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Well, we'll rise now and we'll be back on Monday, the 30th, at 10 o'clock.